It's on. So, well, all right, guys. Welcome to the Growth by Shawn podcast. I'm sitting here with Big Mike, owner of Swansea Nutrition Corner. Big
That's
Mike,
right.
how are you?
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Yes.
So,
this is so weird talking to you like with the camera on us. Like we talk all the time, just like normal people, and now it's like we're gonna talk like normal people, but we know we're being recorded.
Yeah. So like we're talking like for the pleasure of others.
Yes. Yes. So you could engage in what life is like. You know, when we get together.
All right. So why don't we start here? Why don't you just tell us about what a normal day in the life looks like for Big Mike?
Well, we'll leave out a few details, but I pretty much get up in the morning and take the kids to school and go to the gym, and then I come here and I enhance the lives of others.
Okay.
See, this is weird because like I'm talking to the fucking camera, but like you're here, I'm supposed to be talking to you.
No, well, you
weird.
can just talk.
This is weird, cuz.
You can talk like to me.
Okay, I'm gonna talk to you.
Okay.
Okay. So I take the kids to school.
Yep.
And then I come here.
Okay.
And people come in and they say, I need some supplements,
Yep.
and I ask them a few questions, and then I make recommendations, and they buy it,
Okay.
and then they come back and they say, wow, that was a bitchin' recommendation you made, I'm gonna listen to you going forward, and I say, that's right, guys. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I go home, and then, you know, wife, kids, dogs, all that kind of stuff, and then I play video games till midnight, and then I repeat the process.
Really? You play video games?
I play
all the way
video
till
games,
midnight?
yeah.
Every night?
Well, I've cut back a little bit.
Okay.
Lately, I've been playing till about 10:30.
Okay.
Because we gotta grow up sometime, right?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
not really. How old are you?
44.
You're 44?
Yeah.
Really? I had no idea
I'm
that you were
a
that old.
44-year-old dude.
I don't know how old I really thought you were, but...
Well, it's because I distract you. Like, you look at me and you're probably like, man, this guy's old.
Yeah,
But then,
kinda.
like, you listen to me and you're like, there's no way, like, because he talks like he's 20-something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe, like, even in your teens.
I would
Like,
go that
sometimes
far.
I hear some of the kids and I'm like, yeah, that could be the next Big Mike.
Yes.
It's not as vulgar yet.
Yeah, well, the vulgarities come later.
Yeah.
You're a little reserved when you're younger.
So, why don't we talk about this? What was the starting process like for you starting Swansea Nutrition Corner?
Well, it actually started in 2002,
Okay.
believe it or not.
Hmm.
I was getting ready for the Cape Cod Natural,
Mhm.
which was an ANBC natural bodybuilding show at the time. And I went to the promoter at the time's training studio to go over some poses and stuff. It was my first time competing in that federation, and we got along very well. I also met my best friend Russ there as well. He was meeting with other trainer's brother. But after that, he said, look, I'm going to make a few recommendations, and he said, I want you to get this protein. It'll be really good for you. And he said, my buddy James has this store in Hyannis, Cape Cod Nutrition.
Mhm.
So Daryl, who was the trainer working with me, called up James. He said, look, can you stay open a couple minutes later? Got this dude, Big Mike, that's going to come see that ass. He needs a protein and
Yep.
stuff. So James, you know, he already had the store since '96. All right, he's like the bitchinest dude ever. He didn't need to stay open for 10 more minutes just to wait for me. I mean, he was doing tons of business, but he did it. And he helped me out, and we actually became friends after that. From that point on, pretty much, well, I got a job selling Yellow Page ads at the time. That was
Okay.
my first big sales guy. I made a lot of money.
Yeah.
I worked really hard.
Yeah.
And I kicked ass. I think I was too young and crazy to really know how crazy I was at that point, but we did it. We did it with integrity.
Mhm.
Then I got into the supplement industry, working for more of like a vitamin and herb-based supplement company as a sales rep. And then, you know, James and I were still really, really good friends, of course, and an opportunity came up to go into the sports nutrition side of the industry, which is what I really wanted.
Okay.
And it was Betancourt Nutrition.
Mhm.
So James put in a good word for me, and you know, I obviously went down to Florida. Everything went really, really well, and got the job, and that started everything with me in that industry. I made a lot of contacts.
Yeah.
Made a lot of friends, and I got to see everything from like the inside to what goes on in like a retail atmosphere. At the same time, they had recently opened up the Plymouth location at Cape Cod Nutrition, so I started working there.
Okay.
And then once things really got cranking with Betancourt, I just went with that full time. From then on, I went to Metabolic Nutrition, then I went to Top Secret Nutrition, and then after that company sold, I said, you know, it's been good, but I think it's just time to stop going from company to company and do something for myself. And you know, there's some other nutrition corners out there that have opened up who were friends of James's and everything like that. And I was like, you know what, I think it's my turn, cuz. This is what I want to do. I want to have my own thing, and I want to be able to make my own decisions. If something gets screwed up, it's on me. If something goes great, it's on me. But it'll be up to me to figure everything out, and I can enjoy it and do it the way that I want. So since I had all those resources and all that experience, you know, I got James's blessing to have my own nutrition corner, and finally sort of reach this pinnacle for me that I didn't even know was in my future. It's not like I was doing all that stuff and I'm like, oh, I'm going to absorb all this information over the course of like 10 years to open up my own store. It just kind of came. And with all the knowledge that I got from just observing of what I went on the retail side and all that kind of stuff, it just kind of all came together. And I said, you know what, cuz, I'm just going to pull my balls out of my mom's purse and make it happen, because that's what you do in life. And with the help of James, none of this would be possible without James. None of it.
What do you think?
I own everything.
What do you think you'd do right now if James wasn't there?
I would be doing what my dad said I was always going to be, a Whopper flopper.
A Whopper?
My dad said I was going to be a Whopper flopper.
Is that just like someone that flips burgers?
Yeah. And look, that's no offense to the burger flipping specialists that are out there. But you know, most people don't really pursue that as like a full career. You know what I'm saying? So when I was in high school, I thought all I was ever going to do was play baseball. That's all I wanted to do. I thought that's all I needed to do. That's all I wanted to do. I had no interest in anything else. And you know, Pops was like, hey, Mike, you might want to smarten up a little bit. And I was like, nah, man, you know, I'm freaking hitting 400. I'm throwing like 1.8 to 1.2 flat to second base. I don't need that shit. And yeah, if it wasn't for James, he'd probably be right.
So growing up, did your dad and your relationship, what was that like?
It was great.
It was great?
Oh,
even though he didn't like, even though he thought that you might just end up being a Whopper flopper?
Well, I think he said that just kind of jokingly.
Okay.
But at the same time, probably felt in the back of his head like, man, my son's going nowhere.
All right.
Yeah. No, it wasn't like that at all. He wasn't like hard on me. He was cool. My dad let me, you know, learn on my own. He was there if I needed him, whatever, and still is. Play catch with me, do whatever. Yeah, he just knew that I had more in me.
So when I look at Swansea Nutrition Corner, here's what I see. People don't come here for you. People don't come here for, I'm sorry, I worded that backwards. People don't come here for the supplements. People come here for you. Like, how did you build this reputation of who you are, and why do people come here as opposed to down the street?
I just treat people like I always did. I don't know, people just come in here and I just...
So you've always been like this, just like people first? Because I don't think you're in the supplement industry. I think you're in the people industry.
Yeah. I mean, the supplement industry is what I have knowledge in, and it's something I'm passionate about sharing with people, and helping them make their lives better. That's like my little contribution to the world. But my personality hasn't changed, or the way I treat people hasn't changed. The way that I treat a customer that walks through the door is no different than a coworker that I met when I was selling Yellow Page ads, or you know, dude at the college dorm, or someone in the hallways of high school. It's just always been the same.
So did you ever have like hate for others, or was it just always awesomeness for everyone else?
Yeah, I pretty much live in like this awesomeness bubble. Yeah, I'm just like, well, you know, I don't know, I guess I just like have this natural instinct to just not want to be around negative people, I guess. I don't know. But I'm also a believer that the kind of person you are and the kind of character that you show the world, you just sort of like attract good things. But
so just like law of attraction and karma and things like that?
I don't really believe in karma, but maybe law of attraction. Because if you think about it, like, you're just naturally going to gravitate towards people that are similar, right? So if someone's a total doucher, I'm just not going to pursue a relationship with that person any further, you know, just instinctively, and that person will fade out and just kind of keep the good ones around.
So what was a harder relationship that you had dealt with when you were younger? Or did you not have those?
Oh, I'm sure I did. I can't think of anything.
You can't think of them? Have you just blocked them out?
No, I just can't think of anything. Yeah, I mean, I was an old kid. I mean, there were assholes and good dudes and whatever. I just can't think of anything really specific.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was very fortunate.
Yeah.
I grew up, my dad was in the Air Force, so, I don't know, maybe it's because I was always around other kids that went through the same stuff that I did, just like moving around and making new friends every few years and stuff like that. I don't know. But I guess that's one of the things that kind of molded my personality, among other things, of course. But yeah, it's just been cool. All I ever wanted to do was hang out with good dudes and just not mess around with bad people.
Then what was growing up like when you were always moving? Like, how did you keep in touch with and make friends?
Well, yeah, this was back in the day, so the only way of keeping in touch with people was through a landline telephone or writing a letter. But that was really hard because, you know, especially as a kid, you know, like you and Justin, the camera dude here, went to high school together. Like, all my high school friends are all over the country. Most of them are still back in Idaho and, you know, spread all over the place. But, you know, most of those dudes from like elementary school and junior high, like I'll never see any of them again. So, you know, you really don't get to develop those like lifelong, sort of like childhood into adulthood friendships. But there are exceptions. Like my friends from high school, I went to high school in Idaho. All of those dudes are friends for life.
Okay.
Like, it doesn't matter how far away we've been, how long it's been. We meet up, we pick right up where we left off. But I haven't seen them in a long time either. So it's a good thing in the long run because not only do you get to see the world, and when I was younger, I really couldn't appreciate it that much. I was just a kid, but looking back on it, you know, I lived in England and I got to live in all these different places. It's a cool experience, and then by the time I got to college, I was like, well, I know how to make friends. You know, I've been through this before. I mean, that was a tougher transition because it was right after high school, and where I went to high school was very important to me. But you know, you just adapt, and maybe that has something to do with it because like I just had so many people coming in and out of my life all the time. I guess I'm just used to just meeting new people and being nice to them and whatever.
Going a different way, what's the best supplement?
The best supplement?
Yeah.
Well, there's no best supplement.
Come on, I want
There's
to
no
give
best supplement, Gus.
I know, but if you had to pick one, what's the best supplement? I know that there's no best supplement, but like someone comes in and they say, what's the best supplement?
Cock rockets, probably.
Cock.
Yeah. Well, think about it. If you're not getting a good Ralston, what are you going to do?
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Is that too inappropriate for this?
No, we can talk
Okay,
about
cool.
whatever.
Yeah, so I would say cock rockets.
Huh.
Yeah.
What, were you like this in college as well? Like the same?
Yeah.
Like to this degree?
Yeah.
Why has just the Ralston always been interesting to you?
Well, the Ralston has not been interesting to me. I was just trying to think of a funny answer with some shock value to add a little personality to the podcast.
Okay. Okay. All right. That's fair.
That was a good comeback, though. That was a great question.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the worst supplement?
The one that's not right for you.
Okay.
The one that you don't need.
That's a good answer.
You like that?
That's more profound.
You like that, Gus? I'm a very deep thinker. I should start like one of those progressive metal bands that like, you know, just sort of like speak in tongues and like metaphorical. And
okay.
People
so
think.
When you play guitar, what is that feeling like?
Euphoric.
So do you think you'd rather play guitar as a living than own Swansea Nutrition Corner?
No.
No?
Guitar's been a hobby of mine ever since I was a kid.
Okay.
And, you know, I was in a band for some time up until maybe last year, which was freaking awesome. But, no, that's, the cool thing about guitar is it allows for you to be creative and you get this sense of accomplishment. Like, it's a great feeling when you can learn a song all the way through, like solo and everything. It's an amazing feeling of accomplishment. And it's fun too. It's like you're ripping it. You're not even thinking about it. You're like, dude, how am I doing this? But that's all I want it to be. Like, I want what I do for my career and like whatever mark I leave to be the impact that I have on people and how I am able to help them better their lives and the friendships that I form. You really can't do that by tickling the strings. I mean, people could look at that and be like, man, that's bitching.
Yeah.
But that's, you know,
but you're not.
You could do more.
Huh. There's so much more to you on a deeper level than just people see on the outside.
Yeah, there is, because I'm always just joking around and
Yeah.
whatever. But yeah, if you, I mean, you can get into a pretty deep conversation with me, and you know, we can have a little fun, and you could sort of like get under the surface a little bit and be like, oh, this guy's funny, but he actually can think and, you know, ask some pretty necessary questions. And,
so do you have like a sense of spirituality in a sense?
No.
No, nothing.
No. I used to.
No. Okay, so why did you used to and now you don't?
Well, and this is just my personal
perspective.
Exactly. Whatever.
I don't know if anyone's right or wrong.
No, I don't either.
And I don't think anyone will know.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And I think that it's great that we live in an environment where people can believe what they want, and whatever they think, and change their mind, and whatever the hell it is. I think that it's important.
You have people that like Joe Biden.
Yeah, there are some who like him. Yeah, and that's fine too.
And that's fine too.
Anything's fine.
Yeah.
Anything's fine. You know, we need to make sure that we understand that everybody has different life experiences. Everybody has different upbringings and sources of information and all that stuff like that. And I think it's important to respect that and have discussions with people that may see things different than you, or maybe have some sort of different life experience than you, to get a different perspective, and that kind of like molds your perspective a little bit.
Well, I think that's what this is. Someone told me that I was like a sponge the other week, and that I look at all these different perspectives, and then I just have them all, and then I can see them all.
Yeah.
Like I absorb all of them.
Yes, I see
that's
that.
what
I
I
see
do.
that in you.
You know.
Yeah. I see that.
But
in you,
what
yes.
was it like going from non-spiritual to, or spiritual to non-spiritual? Like, do you believe in like God or something? Or,
I don't know.
Or did you?
I did.
When did you stop?
I was about 38, I think.
Okay. What?
Well, I mean, I think that, you know, a lot of people, much like myself, would be like, hey, there's really some dude up there, like calling all the shots. And I'm like, why are these kids starving over there, and why are these earthquakes happening and all this? And can this dude really hear me saying a prayer in my head when I'm not saying it out loud? Like, come on. But a good friend of mine, Georgie Betancourt, he was up for a visit once. He was like, dude, you gotta watch this movie, Interstellar.
Okay.
And I said, word.
Yeah.
Because Georgie's a big, like, science freak and everything like that. And we watched it, and I was totally blown away.
Okay.
And I was like, crazy. I'm 38 years old. This is how ignorant I was. I was like, dude, wouldn't it be crazy if those black holes really, you know, existed?
Yeah.
And he looked at me, he was like, they do. I'm like, no way. And he was like, yeah. So then, like, I sort of, like, went down this rabbit hole with him on, like, outer space type stuff, and like the Big Bang Theory, and that sort of like went into like evolution by natural selection and everything, and it just stopped making sense to me.
Huh.
That's all.
So how do you think we all got here?
Well, the most evidence-based history, I guess, behind it sort of seems to go back to the Big Bang Theory. Whatever started that, I don't know, and I don't even know if that really happened, but I accept it as the most
plausible.
Yes, I will accept that for now, but not saying that that is exactly what happened. But all of the evidence leads back to that, and you know, the evolution of the universe, evolution by natural selection, all that kind of stuff. There's just so much evidence to it. I have no problem accepting it, but I have no problem changing my mind if something else comes up.
Okay.
I mean, at the same time too, I really don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I'm just glad that
It
we're here
doesn't
having a
matter
good
either way.
time. Yeah.
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 Why do you think people get in this like endless loop of not having a good time? Because that's the majority of what I think people in society is not having a good time.
Possibly. Yeah. Well, it depends on so many different factors. I mean, some people are dealt a shitty hand, and you know, they just can't get out of that hand. I mean, some people can.
Yeah.
Some people might get stuck in a career path that maybe they thought they wanted, but then by the time they realize it's not for them, it's too late. And they're like, oh man, I got to stay on for 15 more years, or I'll lose my pension, or something like that. And, you know, people. I mean, you know, I'm not saying life's all roses for anybody at any time, but you know, if you're just fortunate and sort of seek your own path, I think, and just listening to yourself, accepting what, you know, what you think is right for you and not like what society or media or whatever tells you is right for you.
Okay.
You do what you want with your life. It's your life.
Okay.
So I said, this is what I want to do, and thankfully everything was lined up in order for me to do it. But there's just so many factors that could lead to that. I mean, it could be anything from a chemical imbalance to a shitty job, a shitty marriage, any outside stressor, health problems.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's a good question for you. So I've been working for you for a long time, okay? And probably like 4 or 5 years ago now. How long has Swansea Nutrition Corner been here?
Over 5 years.
Over
Just
5 years.
Over 5 years.
So
yeah.
probably like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Because I think I was still newish,
Mhm.
okay? And it was a Sunday, and I was working 11 to 4, and it was like 3:50, and I hadn't had a customer in like 3 hours. I had like 2 customers all day, and I decided I was just gonna leave. But then as I was leaving, you pulled up, and you were like, "Cuz, are you okay?" And I was like,
Oh, yeah.
and I was like,
That's right.
I was like, "Yeah, I haven't had anyone in like 4 hours," and you were like, "Well, you can need to stay," and I was like, "Oh, okay." And why didn't you fire me or anything like that? You just kept me.
Why would I fire you over then?
I don't know, because time fraud?
No.
I was leaving 10 minutes early,
Look,
just for nothing.
So, look, you're a good dude.
Yeah.
You're reliable. You're a genuine person.
You know that now.
I knew that back then.
Okay.
I never would have hired you if I thought any different.
Okay.
Think about it. Anybody who works here
Yeah.
was a customer for
Okay.
a long period of time, and then they became a friend.
Hmm.
So I'm not gonna bring you on. This is the way I see it.
Well,
This is
actually no, because Dan was not a customer.
yeah, but he had your
Dan was a
referral.
referral. Yeah.
And
Okay.
that's how much weight your referral carries.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So
he's a superstar.
oh, he is a superstar. Let me tell you how good this dude is. So during the pandemic, I got the virus, and I was out for 10 days. So, Shawn stepped it up and took some hours. A few people stepped it up, and Shawn was like, "Hey, if you need any help, I got a buddy." And I was like, "If you recommend him, yeah." I mean, I wouldn't just do that blindly for anybody, but I know the kind of person you are, and that worked out great. He's been helping out ever since. Yeah, that's the thing, dude. I pick up on that shit. You don't know it, but I'm absorbing the positivity and the reliability and the strong sense of character and all that stuff. So
Just from my actions and what I say, or just like the energy I give off?
everything.
Everything?
Everything, yeah.
Just me as a whole?
Mm-hmm.
That's.
You're just a good dude.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you're a good dude, and customers come in and tell me that all the time. And
That's good.
maybe this goes back to just like good dudes attracting good dudes, because anybody that works here or anybody that has ever worked here before, all bitchin' individuals.
This is true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm lucky for it. And I don't take that for granted.
Mhm.
But to freaking fire you because you were going to leave a couple minutes early?
I don't know. It was just like a question that I had.
No.
Because
No.
I had never brought it up after that.
No. Well,
Like it needs it.
I'm thinking back onto that, and I think I said something like, look, if I was working for some sort of corporate store and I was like a younger dude or something like that, I probably would have snuck out. I think it was like 3:53.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're shorting yourself.
It
a
wasn't.
couple
It wasn't
minutes.
that like many minutes.
Well-
Yeah, it was. I know it wasn't like 3:45.
Yeah.
Or like 3:30.
Yeah, it wasn't that much, and I was
Yeah.
like, I get it, it's close, like, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna trip on that. And I probably wouldn't even said anything, but there have been so many times where because when I leave at 6 o'clock on the dot.
Yeah. I do now.
Yeah, but there's gonna be times where you have to leave a couple minutes early, whatever.
Yeah.
But, there have been so many times where, and this happened a lot in the beginning especially, where I would call these the save the day customers, where there would be a crappy day,
Yeah.
and on my way out, somebody comes in and spends $200. And that would happen, seriously, like there would be times, it would be 5:58, 5:59.
Yeah.
There have been times where I've been walking out to my truck and somebody's pulling in
That's
as I'm
happened
leaving and
before,
I'd
too.
reopen. Yeah, so that just showed me, hey, it's worth staying to the last minute. You just never know. Like fishing.
Yeah.
Keep your line in the water, cuz.
Do you have thoughts on expanding?
No.
Swansea? No?
No.
Why not?
I don't care. Too lazy.
You just want like this? This is your
I'm fine with
absolute
this.
dream? You're fine with it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm 44 now, cuz.
Yeah.
I have this different, like, view of life.
Okay.
You know?
What does that entail?
Don't grind away at everything until you're on your deathbed and you're freaking, all old and decrepit and you can't get a boner and you're like, oh man, I'm looking back on my life, what did I do? It's like, oh, I worked my tits off.
Okay.
What else did you do? I don't know, I just worked my tits off. That's what I do in my life. Like, I don't want to do like that.
Yeah.
Now, everybody's different. There's some people that live to work, and they love it. Like, they'll never retire. They're doing construction, and they just freaking love. Like, I know a dude who does construction. He loves it so much that when he's not working, he loves helping his friend build shit and do like all this other shit. Like, everybody's cut out for different things. I'm cut out for a different type of path. I just want to be comfortable, which I think is what most people want. And that doesn't mean that, you know, expanding things in here and moving forward with advertising and staying up with, you know, the hot new products and making sure the prices are good and all that kind of stuff. That never stops. That's always going to continue. But to have another store and the stress that would come with that and the time and how much I would have to rely on somebody else to run that, I just don't want to deal with it. I got 3 kids, I got a wife.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I would rather just have a nice work day that I've built for myself and with the help of others, of course, and then go home to a normal life instead of all the other stuff.
Was your plan always to have kids, or no?
No.
No?
No.
When did it change?
When I met my wife.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you know that she was the one?
Dude, she's hot. It's like, I'm not letting this bitch go. You want kids? Whatever you want.
Okay.
Whatever you want, cuz.
Huh.
No, it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
No, I just was open-minded at the time. Before that, it was like, no. And then, you know, people have said, oh, you know, that's going to kind of change when you have the right one and stuff like that. So I said, okay, I'll keep an open mind whenever I'm growing up and I'm evolving or whatever. And there was no doubt.
Okay.
No doubt. Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because I have my own doubts right now. I don't know if I want babies.
You don't have to know.
I don't know.
You don't have to know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Life's all about shooting from the hip a lot of the times, cuz.
Okay.
That's why I just shoot from the hip with so much stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Like even with this business,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was like shooting from the hip, but I was just like, you know, other things, you don't know what the fuck's gonna come up in life.
Yeah.
So you wanna be prepared for some shit. Sometimes you just wanna be open to whatever.
Okay. When did you first get into bodybuilding, and why?
It was actually before my senior year of college.
Okay.
Like, I've always lifted weights off and on and stuff, and like when I was in junior college, I would exercise a lot in the off season. I would do a lot of swimming and a lot of weights and everything, and then the season would start, and then I would just play baseball. But when I was at Bridgewater, I remember after my junior year, you know, there were some dudes on the team who were just totally jacked.
Yeah.
Dropping bombs and everything like that. And, you know, then some more of them came in, like, that were transferring in before my senior year. I'm like, dude, these dudes are just beefy dudes dropping freaking bombs. I said, I want to be that guy.
Yeah.
But on top of that, I always grew up watching professional wrestling and shit like that. And I was always kind of, well, not always, but around that time I was just really fascinated with just building muscle and watching your body change and all that kind of stuff. So I started getting into it then. And then after college baseball was over, I was still a student finishing up some classes. A friend of mine had competed, and I always been kind of curious about it, so we went over to his house and he showed me the video, and I was like, that's pretty freaking cool. But I'm the kind of dude that says, look, I'm not going to do something, I'm not going to say I'm going to do something and not do it.
Okay.
So I said at that point, I'm interested in doing it, but I'm not going to make that decision yet. I want to learn about it a little bit more, which really wasn't helpful because all we had back then was Flex magazine. But, you know, I eventually decided that I wanted to do it, so I did it. And I said, I'm just going to do it once for the experience.
Okay.
And that turned into probably close to 40 shows over the 11-year course.
That's a lot of shows.
Yeah, yeah.
What are some of the repercussions that you have from it now, if any?
None.
None?
None.
Everything
Only
was just
good
smooth
things
sailing?
came from it.
Only good things?
And you know what's funny
Like what?
is,
Yeah.
and I tend to give this speech at some of the shows because I'm a promoter. I started judging in 2005. I started judging.
Okay.
Thanks to my boy Big Matt Shepley, who we miss very much. And from then on, my buddy Sully asked me to MC, so I was a judge and an MC. Then I started promoting my own show, I think in like 2010. And every once in a while I'll give this little speech at my shows and talk to people about how what you take from competitive bodybuilding, and I'm using that as a general term, figure, bikini, whatever it is, they're all building bodies. You take from it what you don't expect to get from it.
Okay.
So what I thought was like, hey, I'm going to bust my ass, and I'm going to get shredded, I'm going to win trophies, and it's going to be bitching and all that stuff. But what I actually got from it was all this. Like I said, my best friend Russ, we actually were competing in the same class at that 2002 Cape show, and rather than staring each other down and, you know, trying to intimidate each other like Arnold says you're supposed to do, we were giving each other compliments and helping, making sure our oil was good and all that kind of stuff. And my wife came from it, my wife, so much has come from it. And over the course of time, like, I don't look at the pictures anymore. All my trophies just kind of collect dust. Anything that, well, my kids broke most of them. The ones that haven't been broken are collecting dust. But what I have is the memories.
Yeah.
And now I promote the Cape Cod Natural. I still judge. Yeah. And now I'll be having my own show in Boise this year. And I'm still involved with the sport, which is great residual from the competing, but the relationships that I have, the experiences, like those memories, that's what I took from it. Okay. But there is a health component too as well. I mean, I built a lot of retainable muscle over the course of time, and like I would really have to do something stupid, just like really hard to lose that muscle. And you know, gained a lot of knowledge about nutrition, and which I can apply here and everything. So it was all good things.
Did you know the last time when you were stepping on stage, did you know that was going to be the last time? And what was the thought process like there?
It actually came pretty natural.
Okay.
Yeah, there were a lot of times, much like my golf game, where I said, okay, this is the last one. I'm not doing this again. And it's hard to, because bodybuilding requires, it's a lifestyle commitment. It's not like any other sport where, say you're going to baseball practice for 2 hours and then you come home and, you know, you're messing around with your homies and whatever. It's round the clock. And what was the fucking question?
We were talking about bodybuilding, and then the last time you stepped on stage,
thank you.
what it was like.
All right, so it was 2013, and you know, I've had some really good shows, but more often, you know, I had bad shows. I didn't really sort of have that. I had a good genetic shape, and I had the ability to build and retain muscle and everything. But to get to what I wanted to do, I always believed that I could do it, no matter what. You have to. But I was just like, yeah, I can do that. But after a while, I just kind of realized that wasn't going to be fulfilling for me, even if I did it. You know what I mean? And you know, I did really prep hard for contests. You know, everybody does. But you know, I mean, like my last season, I said, look, I'm tired of pissing into the wind. I'm tired of the ups and downs. You know, like I could look great for one show, I could be really flat for a different show. Like there was really not much consistency. So I said, this is it. I'm going to have a kick-ass season one last time. You know, my wife and I had decided we wanted to start a family, and I wanted to just leave the competitiveness behind me. And I hired Big Jeff Alberts from 3D Muscle Journey. We did a 10-month prep, and he was, oh God, that guy was fucking amazing. I still recommend him to people. He was amazing. He's amazing.
Why was it so good with him?
He's extremely smart. He's very experienced. Okay. He has a calm demeanor. Just everything that he does. I mean, he lives in California. Just the ability to check up on me and making sure that everything is staying on track, and the ability to play the chess game. It's like, hey, if you're feeling burnout, you know, we got to take a step back. Like for instance, in bodybuilding, there's that mentality of like, I'm going to go hard, and that's all I'm going to do. If I slack at all, I'm a loser. I'm just going to do more cardio and drop carbs more. And he was really good at realizing that, hey, I'm kind of like your caddy, all right? You got to step back, right? So one of my favorite examples is we were getting deep into the prep. This was a 10-month prep, all right? And I felt great with the way that he helped me. Like, we were doing macro-based dieting rather than meal plans, and I was like, holy crap, I can't believe I feel this good on a contest prep. But as we got a bit closer, I was like, man, you know, I just don't feel like I'm recovering well. I'm really sluggish and just tired. I'm just like, I don't know, man. He said, you know, let's do a deload week.
Okay.
So we did a deload week. I go back to him at the end of the week. I said, dude, I feel great. Let's go back and start kicking some ass. He goes, nope, we're going to do another deload week. Like, he knew. He just knew.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what was life like after bodybuilding? What did you start doing?
Well, I think to complete the first question,
Yeah.
I had that season,
Yep.
and it was the best, most consistent season I ever had.
Okay.
I looked great in 3 shows in a row. I did the main event and got second to Big Andrew Walensky, who I just wasn't going to beat. I got first in my class at the Cape Cod, and then I got second in my class at the Yorton Cup Nationals. And I was just like, you know what, this was just all perfect. Like, I could look back on this season and know that my body and my performance complemented the dedication that I put towards it. And the bug just kind of like faded out. I had no problem. I just knew that it was a transition time.
Okay.
Yeah. And I never even considered it again since then. Yeah.
So what did you start doing once it was done, though? Like, how did your life start to change? Did you just keep following your macros and meal plan and keep training, or did it just like fall right off? And
it tapered off a little bit. You know, one of my big problems too, being an endomorph, is you know, the post-show weight gain. So actually, my last show was in the beginning of November, and I actually stuck with Jeff and reverse dieted all the way until the following March. Yeah, which kept me in shape and feeling good for a long time and helped me climb out of it and just sort of keep that path. But after that, it was just normal working out.
Okay.
You know, I was eating good for so long that I was able to say, hey, you know, I'm going to make some good decisions, and if it's opportunity makes a bad decision, I'm going to make that decision too. Whatever, just sort of like live a life.
Okay. So how did you? What about this? How did you meet your wife? You said you were about bodybuilding, but what happened?
So
She approached you, didn't she?
well, she probably wanted to. She probably saw me at the judges' table and was like, whoa, who's that chubby, hairy guy? I judged her first show in 2005.
Okay.
Yeah. And
you were like, you first place.
well, no, I don't remember where I placed her.
Okay.
But you know, when I just judge,
Mhm.
just judge.
Yeah.
That's it. I just judge. Like, I cut them off at the head. I look at their carcass. But I was like, whoa. I was like, who's this one? I was just like, wow. So anyway, some time went by, and like years, probably maybe 4 or 5 years went by.
Okay.
And I happened to run into her at my buddy Dave's place. He ran a supplement store in, where the fuck was that, Bourne.
Okay.
And I walked in there to see him, and she was actually one of his clients,
Oh.
getting ready for a contest.
Okay.
So I just introduced myself, pretty much.
Yeah.
What the hell was that hot chick? So anyway, one time went by, I don't know how much time, years, whatever went by, and I was like, you know, I'm just gonna pull my balls out of my mom's purse. And I'm just gonna send her a message on Facebook.
Yep.
And, well, first I friend requested her, I didn't go like right into the message. I'm gonna tell you where the balls from the mom's purse thing came from too, that's a pretty funny story.
Okay.
But, I friend requested her, and she accepted my friend request.
Yeah.
And
And
I
you
was
were
like-
like, you're ready.
I was like, well, I didn't think I was in.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, she accepted my friend request. That means she either remembers me from the shows or she remembers when I met her at Dave's. But if I didn't meet her at my buddy's store, then that was the buffer.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that was going to keep me from being like Mr. Creepy.
Okay.
So, so I was like, fuck it. She accepted my friend request. I'm going to send her a message.
Yep.
And I just sent her an introductory message. Just like,
Saying
hey.
what?
It was just like, hey, I don't know if you remember me from, you know, Dave's store, but, you know, I don't even remember. I just used the whole, you know, I don't, actually, she still has it saved somewhere, so you
Okay.
could probably read it sometime if you want. But it was just a very casual icebreaker.
Yeah.
And then she wrote back, and I was like, oh, whoa.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I wrote her back.
Okay.
And this is what gave me the sense that it might go somewhere.
Yep.
Was in the second email, I told her that I wanted to be in an 80s hair metal cover band.
Wait, what do you mean?
I don't know. Well, the second message on Facebook.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. I was confused if you guys...
Email, DM, whatever you want to call it, yeah.
I didn't know if you would give her your email address.
No, we haven't gotten that far yet.
Okay.
I thought it was more appropriate to tell her through a Facebook message that I wanted to be in an 80s hair metal cover band.
Okay.
Before I got her email address. That's just
Okay.
the common
And
evolution.
what did she say to that?
Nothing. She wrote me back, and I'm like, okay. Because it was one of those things like you hit the send button and you're like, oh fuck.
Should not have said
That
that.
was a bit much. Might have been a little bit much too soon.
Okay.
And then when I saw that she wrote me back, I was expecting, hey, you're a little too weird. I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah.
But she wrote back, and it just kept going.
Wow.
Yeah. So then, I asked for a number, and then
Yeah.
took her out.
Yeah.
And this whole time, she didn't know I was macking on her.
Huh.
She thought I was gay.
Oh. Why?
She thought I was gay. I don't know. She thought I was gay.
Do you get that a lot?
No.
No.
No, she just,
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe
Huh.
I really don't know why.
Okay.
But she didn't know she was actually going on a date with me
Yeah.
until her mom told her that she was going on a date.
Okay.
Yeah. So apparently when I went to pick her up, she was like, yeah, I'm going to go hang out with this guy, Mike.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, where are you guys going?
Yeah.
She was like, oh, he's taking me out for sushi, and then we're going to go shoot pool. And she was like, that's a date.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, it's not a date. He's gay. He just wants to talk about bodybuilding and hang out or whatever. And she was like, no, you're going on a date.
Huh.
So maybe that made it a little less invasive too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Help from the mom.
Yeah. Maybe that's the secret to getting chicks.
Maybe. Once
That's
the
it.
mom is on board, then
Yeah.
they're in.
I guess. I don't know.
I'm gonna
Just
start
works.
coaching girls' moms.
Well, it's not about that. Remember, you have to somehow not weirdly initiate a conversation on Facebook.
True.
Throw in something out of nowhere, like you want to be in an 80s metal cover band, and see
Yep.
if she writes you back.
Yep.
Then make her think you're gay.
Okay.
Then you'll get the chick.
Okay. I'm glad that we have this.
You see that?
This
Just
process. Yeah.
Animal instincts. That's primal
Yeah.
instinct right there, cuz. Like,
So what happened with the balls from the mom's purse?
okay, so this is awesome. I use this
Yep.
term all the time. When I went to high school in Idaho, we were paintballing in Boise.
Yeah.
And we took it very seriously.
Okay.
Big freaking like building, just all these different courses in there, whatever.
Yeah.
And there was this one game we were playing where the teams were divided up, and one team was guarding the castle, and the other team had to storm the castle and take it over. So, we were teamed up with some other kids and stuff like that, me and all my high school buddies. And one of us needed to be like the first guy to storm the castle while the rest of us covered him. But none of us wanted to do it because we knew we would get pummeled.
Mm-hmm.
So there was some kid there that was teamed up with us. He was like in middle school or whatever. And we were trying to convince him to be the one that stormed the castle.
Okay.
And my buddy Ames, he was like, dude, just pull your balls out of your mom's purse and do it. And I was just like, that's going in the bank. I'm 44 and I still use it.
That's a long time.
Right? Dude, you just don't forget things like that.
Well, I get, like, one thing that I've never forgotten, I don't know how it happened or where it came from, but we started, one of the ex-girlfriends and I that I had, we started using the term liddy pants. Like, your pants are on fire, but they're liddy pants.
Like they've been
And
lit
it's-
on fire?
I have no idea, but we've been using it for,
Yeah.
not we, I haven't talked to her in years, but
Yeah.
like, it just stuck with me, like,
Yeah.
that's liddy pants.
There's certain things
Like-
that will stick with you from childhood, yeah.
Yeah, I don't even think childhood, this was like, I don't know how many years ago,
Yeah?
but it was a while.
Yeah. If it sticks, it sticks. If it's
Yeah.
good material is just good material, no matter when it comes.
Okay.
And you can't let it go.
So, last question, okay, as we wrap up here.
Mhm.
I get a question from the person that I had on last, and they don't know that it's you.
Oh,
They just
okay.
gave me a random question.
Okay.
Okay? So, this is from a woman, Rachel Veritimos. She's
Okay.
awesome, okay? Here is your question. What is a time that you did something that made no logical sense to do, but it worked out better than you imagined?
There's probably a lot of those. I don't know. I can't think of anything.
Well, it's too bad, you have to think.
Well, I know, I'm going to.
Yeah, yeah.
You might have to edit this part out to the point where I actually come to the answer.
We could put one of those things in that says like 30 minutes later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Something that made no logical sense at the time, but.
Everyone stalls on the last question. Yeah.
Well, that's true,
Everyone
that
does.
really makes me think, why couldn't they
Yeah,
say something
well,
like,
this is,
what's your favorite
got a
food or
bunch-
something?
Well, I mean, no, like I could have asked you, this, okay? The version of yourself that has accomplished all their goals, lives where they want, has all the material things they want, how does that person see themselves in 5 years?
I hate that question.
Yeah.
That was the worst thing about,
Could've been tougher.
like, when I was, like, interviewing, like, for real jobs and shit like that, that was my least favorite question. I'm like, what the fuck, do you think I'm gonna know where I am in 5 years? In 5 minutes from now, I don't even know where the fuck I'm gonna be. How many people have, like, these plans, like, I got a 5-year plan and a 10-year plan, and the next thing you know, they're doing something completely different. It's like, well, that
Yeah.
worked out real good.
Someone asked me where I see myself in 5 years the other
Yeah.
day, and I said, I don't know, I don't even know where I see myself next week.
Yeah.
I had no clue.
And then by the time next week comes, you're not gonna remember where you were a week ago anyway,
Yeah.
because just like as you get older and life just goes by faster. So I can't even answer that question.
Do you want me to ask the original question again?
Re-ask the original
Okay.
question again.
So, what is a time that you did something that made no logical sense to do, but it worked out better than you imagined?
I got nothing, cuz.
Nothing?
Nothing.
This is the last question, though. You have to come up with something.
Well, I wanna come up with something.
When is something, what's something that you did that was just, I mean, I feel like you might make a lot of stupid decisions.
Yeah, I made a lot of them.
Okay, so what's one? And then let's just see if it.
Well, none of them worked out good, that's the only thing. I could tell you about a bunch of dumb decisions, but none of them worked out, like, good. None of them, like, a lot of them didn't work out bad either.
Okay.
But I'm trying to think of,
They just
like.
worked out neutral?
Yeah, it's like, okay, you know, that might have not have been the smartest thing to do, but, nothing bad came as a result, and nothing good came as a result of it.
Hmm.
So I'm
Then why
trying
don't
to
you
think of
give-
something that I did that actually had a notable outcome, and I don't know what that is.
Then why don't you give us a story about one of the situations where it didn't make sense and it just worked out to neutral?
Don't know that I could talk about those.
Okay. Why not?
Well, they're pretty, you know, I mean.
Are they just vulgar or?
No, just shenanigans.
Okay.
Shenanigans.
Like shenanigans that could get you in trouble?
No,
Okay.
just
Get others in
shenanigans.
trouble?
No, nobody would get in trouble, it's nothing like that, it's just
Okay.
some, you know, I mean, what if my kids watch this one day and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe my dad did this in high school, what a crazy guy. So that way and I don't know they see the video, so that way when they do something crazy, like, you know, something funny, and
Yeah.
not, you know, but something along the same lines, and I'm like, I can't believe you do that, why'd you do that? And they're gonna say, well, Dad, I saw on YouTube that you did this, and I just really can't discipline them from there.
Okay, because
Yeah.
you did it first.
I mean, a lot of it has to do with my butt.
Okay.
A lot of it. I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
a lot of people have seen my butt.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, you know what, here's a good one. Now that we're getting the juices flowing. It was my first day on the job at Metabolic Nutrition,
Yep.
all right? I gotta make sure I tag Big J on this so he can see this. This is a pretty legendary story.
Okay.
I met the CEO of Metabolic Nutrition at a distributor event once.
Yep.
And my buddy Tommy Hoops worked with him at the time. So I probably wouldn't have done this otherwise. But I got to feel that he was a funny dude,
Yeah.
you know. So when I ended up working for them, we all flew down to Florida. And you know, we did our stuff at the office, and then we would go out to dinner as a company and everything like that. So Jay's driving home on the highway, and I'm in the car with Tommy and some of the other sales reps.
Mhm.
And I look over there, I said, Tommy, pull up next to Jay on the highway. He's like, why? I said, I'm gonna moon him.
Okay.
So of course,
Yep.
Tommy says, sure. So he pulls up next to Jay, and we're going neck and neck on the highway.
Yep.
I roll down the window, stick my ass out the window.
Yep.
He's laughing his ass off. We're all laughing our ass off, and we still talk about it to this day. So we got a good story out of it.
Yeah.
Right? So that's along the lines of what I'm saying. Nobody got hurt, nobody got in trouble. It made for a good story. There's a lot of lifelong stories that we're gonna get out of these things that I do with my butt. Obviously, it's a great source of entertainment. But that was a really notable, wholesome-esque story that I could share with you.
See, I was prepared for something worse.
Oh, I got worse.
Yeah.
I got worse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you share one of the worst? Or
No.
No? Not
Can't do it.
Oh,
Can't do it.
Once we're off air, you can share them.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely, yeah.
All right.
And if somebody wants to come in the store and
Yep. And talk
want to
about
know
your
what
butt.
they are, I'll gladly tell them. But we just can't have it documented.
Okay.
For reasons like I mentioned before. But they're all along those lines. They were like safe.
Yeah.
Nobody got hurt.
Yeah.
But it's just